What if I told you the next general election might not happen? Because those in charge, Keir Starmer, Anatoly, are refusing to clearly rule that out. This is about democracy. This is about our right to vote. The local elections have already been cancelled, well, postponed, and they're talking about further delays. And now Anatoly live on Sky News has refused to rule out that Keir Starmer might not cancel or delay the next general election in 2029. There's talks of the House of Lords being removed, so they're going to need reorganisation. And to do this, they will have to postpone general elections. Is this democracy or is this dictatorship? Before we start, I'm Craig, a former British soldier. I served for 16 years and I want to thank all of you for all of your support. Big shout out to our channel members, and if you want to support the channel, head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk. You can check out our amazing tasting coffee. But let's get into this video. Let's see what Anatoly has got to say on Sky News, and then we'll break it down.
You know, if I were interviewing somebody in Latin America or Africa and they said what you've just said to me, you'd already be saying banana republic, speechifying about the dangers of authoritarianism. If the government were to find that there was some complex reorganisation going on, for example, somebody might have pledged to get rid of the House of Lords and they might be deciding to do that in 2028. Might that be a reason to put off a general election in 2028-29?
No, we've still got a huge amount of elections coming up this year in Scotland, in Wales, all of London are out. We've got elections across the country. We've got a huge programme of elections coming up in May. So you can't...
You've given 63 local authorities the option to delay their election so they can stay in office for another year. You know, it's probably rather cheap to say turkeys and Christmas, and what are they going to choose? But really?
So let's just stop that there. So straight away, he's asked her once. She's done the typical politician thing where they don't want to answer, so they try to go here, there, everywhere, and all around the question, apart from answering that direct question. So he's come back in and he's asking again. We already know that there's loads of local elections, as he said, 63, that have the option to postpone by another year to be able to keep those mayors in place already.
Well, the reality is we're moving to unitary council processes. There's a huge restructuring of local government, and it's really difficult for them to manage that alongside, you know, running elections as well. So they're very clear with us that they want to have the time to do this properly. We're in discussion and debate with them, but the priority is we've got a huge programme of elections this May, but the reality is while we're undertaking massive restructuring, as I said, the biggest in a generation, it's really important that we give councils the capacity to do this so they don't keel over.
All right, so just to be absolutely clear for viewers who are currently shouting at the television screen, even if things are difficult and there is reorganisation of Westminster, as I say, you promised to get rid of the House of Lords, there is going to be no delay on a general election.
There's the second question he's asked the second time.
We promised to get rid of hereditary peers, and we're undertaking that programme. So, you know, that is ongoing. And, you know, the general elections always come at the decision of the Prime Minister, and that's the reality of the process that we have in this country.
Yeah, they come at the decision of a Prime Minister who knows he is losing in the polls. He is down and out. He's got no support. People would prefer the military in rather than Keir Starmer. Is he going to say, let's have a general election right now? No. Is he going to say, let's have one in 2029? If he can delay it or postpone it as much as possible, we know he's going to. He knows Labour are not going to win.
I'm looking forward to spending the next couple of years setting out our programme for reform and delivery for the country.
Yeah, there's an outer limit, which I think is January 2029 or something like that. And what I'm not hearing you saying is that this Labour government can't see any circumstances on which you would choose to do what you've done in local authorities, for local authorities, and delay a general election, which I've got to say, I'm finding surprising that you can't just say no general election will go beyond the 5-year term.
Well, of course the general election will come. The House of Lords aren't elected, so I'm a bit sort of confused as to why House of Lords reform would impact on a general election. So there's no change to a plan for a general election. But there is, of course, you know, a lot of
No
reorganisation
plan to
going on
delay
at
a
local
general
government
election?
level who've got to run these elections.
But, all right.
No.
All right.
I'm not sure where this has come from, but no. We're not.
Okay.
I mean, I'm thinking about the elections in May. That's our priority,
right.
and setting out our programme to come
Oh.
over the days, weeks, and months ahead for what we're delivering for people in their communities.
You think about the elections of May that have been delayed. Anyway, look, let me come back to
There's
what
loads of
you
elections
regard as
happening
the
in
most
May,
important
Trevor.
thing.
I'm focused on Scotland and Wales and London.
Let's come back to the thing that you appear to think is the most important.
So she got asked 3 times and she couldn't just clearly say at the beginning, no, we are not looking to cancel, delay or postpone, however you want to say it, the general election. They cannot rule that out flat out. They cannot just say no. They have to go here, there, everywhere and try and answer the question in every other possible way. But they are happy to delay 63 local elections. Okay, this is not a democracy we're living in right now. They keep going on about reform, making it more fair when it comes to political parties and the political culture. But what they don't want to do is give people the right to vote, to decide who actually makes those decisions for them. I generally think if there's a referendum now asking or calling for a general election, and even if the answer come out and the vote won as yes, he still wouldn't give a general election. We've got people talking about rioting, civil wars, military coups. They will do everything possible to stay in power. And most probably we're doing more detailed, in-depth video on this, but more than likely pushing war with Russia to delay, cancel the next general election, because if a war happens, elections don't happen. We're not living in a democracy right now because they've been in a year and a half and people are just not happy with how the Labour Party, Labour, whatever you want to call them, have been doing things. The fact that they cannot flat out refuse that the general elections will not be delayed in 2029 is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's not fair on the British people, because you should have your right to vote, just like we should have a right to trial by jury. But we are no longer going to be able to get these things. These will slowly be taken away from us. They're already doing it in the local elections. They know Reform are winning. You've got the Green Party surging behind them. The Tories are out. Labour are just continuing to fall. They know this. They know that they're not going to be able to stay in by the next general election. They know they're not going to win most of the local elections. So they're going to try and do everything possible to stop that from happening. What should happen next? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Please do comment below. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk. Check out our t-shirts and our coffee. I appreciate all the support and I'll see you soon.